Previously on Balls.
Okay, now the phone's ringing for Clive. Clive has signed, so far, 16 players in the off-season, including the lad in Conquo.
Neal, can you hear me now?
Clive, I can hear you now, mate, and you're live on air now, Clive. Clive, are you about to play Perth Glory in Mbombela?
Yeah, it's 3 o'clock kickoff. We've got a game prior to that. So, we're all going to have to warm up for the first game, which starts at 12 o'clock, and then, of course, the Perth Glory match at 3 o'clock, which will be very interesting.
Mate, they should market these games. I would have driven up there to watch Perth Glory against Aces. It's very interesting to hear that one. Clive, you got, by my count, and tell me if I'm wrong, you have signed at Aces 16 players, since your promotion. Is that about right? Does that tally with your numbers?
Maybe a little bit less, but because, we still haven't concluded all the deals because we're having a look at them and things like that. So I would think that, maybe 12 new players at the moment.
12 new players at the moment. Mate, how's it looking? How are you?
There are some big names, and the one that will raise the most eyebrows, of course, is Puti Kanyeza.
Yes.
He's with us at the moment, and he's playing. He played yesterday in our game against Platinum Stars, which was a lovely night out for us. And so we're lucky to have Puti here and hope that whatever suspension he's going to have goes very, very quickly because he's a talented player.
Yeah, exactly, mate. I don't want to talk too much about spitting and all that. I actually was sent off once in my playing career for spitting, and I always said to the ref, I said to the ref afterwards, I knew the ref for years afterwards, I said to him, mate, would you rather I'd punch the bloke in the face or do I... And I just feel it was at 12 months was way over the top. I don't know. Have you got a view on that? Are you allowed to tell what you think about that?
Yeah, I think so. I think that he should have been fined because that would have hurt him the most and have a money set up, and I would think it would be right for the club to punish him too. But I don't think, as you say, gosh, there's a lot worse crimes in South Africa. We get a lot less than a year, so I would think no, definitely. I think he's been quite harshly treated.
Thank you, Clive. I could always go to Clive Barker for the common sense point of view. I agree completely. Clive, the old Clive Barker that I knew in the early 80s when we used to kick about in Durban and you were turning Umlazi Bushbucks into a South African beating side in the mid-80s, 85, 86, around there. Do you have the same enthusiasm at 68, Clive? I feel like I could ask you that. Do you feel as enthusiastic about this season?
I'm glad that you mentioned those great days, but this is even bigger for me because, like most players around about the age of 28 to 34 in South Africa, the ship leaving the harbour, and I'm under the same type of challenge. The ship is leaving the harbour now. I'm sensible to work that out. But I'm really excited about working with the players. I mean, last 6 months in the league was fantastic because they were really a quality team, and I think the team that will push chief for the championship this year. And then, of course, the challenge now to take a side that's just been promoted and make them first of all play and not make up the numbers, but play to really make an impression in the league. So I think the directors want that type of result, and I think that's only a result that will keep me in the game. So it's a nice challenge.
Brilliant, mate. I mean, when you came in at Wits last season, I remember speaking to you at the time. I spoke to your missus down at home, is it Yvonne? And she was quite nervous about you leaving home, but happy to get you up here and involved. You took Wits to 4th place. What can we expect from Mpumalanga Black Aces this season? What league position,
you just
roughly?
Said to me one thing that I've left. Don't say that you're going to win the league. So we'll work that out. Those days are gone about making silly talk on, but I think one thing about it, I'm very excited about the enthusiasm here, the quality of player that we've got. So all round, there will be no excuses if I can't be successful because I'll have every opportunity to be given the opportunity to play well.
Yeah, Clive, did I read that Aces have got this link with Manchester City? And there's big things happening. Mpumalanga shouldn't be considered a footballing desert, should it? You guys can turn this into a big thing this season.
Yeah, because you're 100% correct. When you look at the stadium I'm standing in the middle at the moment. It's magnificent, and if you play Chiefs here next Friday night, you'll fill the stadium, and that'll be fabulous because it's a good address for the game, a good address for the Pink Black Aces. But the people will come and support Chiefs in big numbers because it'll be their first really competitive match. So it'll be fantastic.
So let's get this right, Clive. Although Mpumalanga Black Aces are conceivably used to call a Witbank side, will you be playing most of your games at Mbombela? Most of your home games?
I think we're a little bit hamstrung with the decisions made by Ronnie Slosh, of course,
Yes.
from the PS the quality of grounds and things like that. Obviously, we would love to play in the townships if that was possible and share the bigger games in the stadium. But at the moment, they're making it quite difficult for us to play where we want to play. But I'm sure that there will be some compromise along the way.
Well, that's unfortunate because I know that with the kind of side that you're putting together and the hype that you can produce in a football side, Clive, with your background, you could probably fill in Mbombela most for yes, but certainly for the big sides. We know that, don't we? Right. So pick me out players I can find at Aces next season that I might not have heard that much about. We've talked about Kenyese.
Okay, well, first of all, Kenyese would be the big one.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're talking to Neal, which would be another one. Certainly in the middle of we'd be looking at Zwane from
Sundowns.
And then, of course, Eduardo, who's been around with Ajax and been around with a couple of teams, but he's a big competitor and he gets stuck in and he's a great team man. And then, of course, the central defender, Charlie from Sundowns also. His method is a well-known player and very classy about whatever he does. So I just think that they've built nicely. They've got a couple of young players that will do well too. So there's a nice blend here, and thank goodness we've got the blend with the experience and the young players.
Brilliant, mate. Clive, all the best. I will be up there.
Neil, thank you for your questions and your the authority that you asked them with. We appreciate that you stay in the game for a long time. Okay,
Clive, it's hearing the enthusiasm still in you, mate. That's what encourages me. Great stuff. I look forward to it, mate. Get up there in that top four.
Okay, great.
See you, Clive.
Okay,
thanks for chatting. Good luck against Perth Glory, mate. Cheers. Right, well, that's Clive Barker. Glyn, how long have we known Clive Barker, you and me?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to work with Clive during the successful 1996 African Cup of Nations. I worked with him from 95 to 98. And I've spent some time with him lately, and I think he's still got the same enthusiasm. In fact, we had 2 games at the end of last year where we had 2 Legends games, basically the Bafana class of 1996. We firstly played against a German team from a similar era, and then we also played against an African Legends team as well. And he was as spurred up, as excited about those games as he was the finals of the African Cup of Nations 1996. So I think that passion and enthusiasm that he shows for the game is evident wherever he is.
What always got me was that when I was down as a youngster at Durban City and then Bushbucks, he could put the ball from 60 yards, he shot nearly, and he'd hit the ball to me, it would land right at my foot.
He always used to tell us those stories, but I don't think too many of the players believed him.
I saw it.
This is Bulls Visual Radio.